Beneath your feet, right now, there's a world hotter than the surface of the sun. A world of liquid metal, crushing pressure, and spinning iron the size of the moon. But here's what's terrifying. We've barely even seen it. We've sent humans to the moon, probes to Mars, telescopes to the edge of the universe. But we've never been to the center of our own planet. The deepest we've ever drilled is just 12 kilometers. That's only 0.2% of the way to the core. Everything below that is a mystery we are still trying to solve. Today, we're going to take you on a journey straight down, from the surface to the very center of the Earth. What you'll see will not feel real. In 1970, Soviet scientists started digging. They called it the Kola Super Deep Borehole. Their goal? To reach the deepest point any human had ever gone. For 19 years, they drilled, day and night. They reached 12,262 meters. And then they stopped. Not because they ran out of money, but because the rock started melting. The temperature was already 180 degrees Celsius. Their drill couldn't go any deeper. And remember, they had barely scratched the surface. The Earth's crust is the layer we live on. It's only 5 to 70 kilometers thick. Compared to the size of the Earth, the crust is thinner than an apple skin. It's broken into pieces called tectonic plates. These plates float on something much hotter below. When they move, we feel earthquakes. When they collide, we get mountains. When they split apart, we get volcanoes. But the crust is just the beginning. Beneath the crust lies the mantle. 2,900 kilometers thick, it makes up 84% of Earth's volume. The mantle is made of solid rock, but it flows like extremely thick honey. At depths of just 100 kilometers, the temperature reaches 1,300 degrees Celsius. That's hot enough to melt steel instantly. The rock here is so dense that a single cubic meter weighs 4 tons. But here's where it gets strange. The mantle is constantly moving. Hot rock rises slowly toward the surface. Cool rock sinks back down. This process is called convection, and it has been happening for 4.5 billion years. This invisible motion is what drives the entire surface of our planet. Every mountain range, every earthquake, every volcanic eruption. It's all powered by what's happening deep below. At 2,900 kilometers down, the solid mantle ends, and the outer core begins. This layer is 2,200 kilometers thick, and it is made of liquid metal. Pure molten iron and nickel, swirling, churning, at temperatures of 4,500 degrees Celsius. The outer core is not just liquid, it's also electric. As the liquid metal moves, it generates the magnetic field that protects all life on Earth. Without it, cosmic radiation would have wiped us out billions of years ago. But the journey isn't over. 5,150 kilometers below your feet, the liquid metal ends, and something solid begins, the inner core. A massive ball of solid iron and nickel, 1,220 kilometers in radius, roughly the size of the moon. The temperature here reaches 5,400 degrees Celsius. That is the same temperature as the surface of the sun. And yet, despite the heat, the inner core is solid. How is that possible? The answer is pressure. At the center of the Earth, the pressure is 3.6 million times stronger than at the surface. That much pressure forces the iron atoms to lock together. Even though it's hotter than the sun, the iron cannot melt. It is crushed into a perfect sphere of metal. And here's the strangest part. The inner core is spinning faster than the rest of the planet. We don't fully understand why. At the very center of the Earth, 6,371 kilometers below the surface, something incredible happens. The pull of gravity from every direction cancels out. If you could somehow stand at the exact center, you would float, weightless, surrounded by solid iron, crushed by unimaginable pressure, in a place hotter than the surface of the sun, and no one has ever been there. But the most important thing about the Earth's core is not the temperature. It's not the pressure. It's the magnetic field. The Earth's core acts like a giant electromagnet. It surrounds our entire planet with an invisible shield. This shield deflects deadly cosmic radiation from the sun. Without it, our atmosphere would be stripped away. Mars used to have a magnetic field. Then, its core cooled. The field collapsed, and Mars became the dead world we see today. So what would happen if Earth's core stopped spinning? It would be the end of everything. First, the magnetic field would weaken. Then, it would collapse. Cosmic radiation would break through the atmosphere. Solar storms would fry our electronics. Then, our atmosphere would slowly drift into space. Earth would become a frozen, lifeless rock, just like Mars. Right now, the only thing keeping us alive is a spinning ball of metal, thousands of kilometers below your feet. We have traveled to the deepest oceans, to the edge of the universe, inside a black hole. But the most extreme place may be right here, beneath our feet. Hotter than the sun, heavier than mountains, spinning silently for billions of years. The Earth's core is the reason we exist. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe for more. Next time, we go to the most extreme places on the surface of Earth, places where humans cannot survive. See you there.